Hello, folks. This is Maria Abreu from Abreu and Associates. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you like the content of the video, hit the like button and make sure to share. So one of the topics that I wanted to address with my subscribers is the processing times. How long are processes taking these days? We all know that, post-pandemic, we've had to make certain adjustments. And because everything is taking longer, it's become a bit more complicated. And so immigration processes are not the exception, okay? A part of the reason for this is because um, things like legalizing a document, getting an apostille, it went from 5 to 7 business days to taking 5 to 7 weeks, okay? And so getting a file ready in order to submit to a state entity, call it the consulate for the visa process or immigration for residency, it's become time consuming, okay? Sources tell me that in order to get an FBI clearance, there are, if people go directly to the Bureau, it could take up to 12 weeks. So most are using channelers and still it takes them weeks to get. So that, that adds to the processing time for an immigration process because, and I want to explain this. An immigration process officially starts when a complete file is submitted to the state entity, whether it be the consulate for a visa process or the immigration department for the residency process. So when you reach out to a professional to help you with your process, a law firm, and they list out what they need and they send instructions on how to legalize the documents and how the documents, what documents you need. That preparation time is not when the actual process begins. Because part of what a professional does, a lawyer does, is that they help you to prepare the file. They make sure the file is ready and the documents are in order so that it could be submitted for the process. And this is important because, I can't tell you how many people call us telling us, well, we submitted our paperwork to the consulate and, they came back and told us it's wrong, it's not what they needed, it's not worded properly, it's missing this or that element. And so having a professional work with you from the beginning eliminates that factor. It avoids your having to go back and redo things and get additional documents that you should have you should have had from the beginning. So it saves time in that you get it right the first time. It's also important for us to explain this because a lot of people will think, okay, so the timeline or the clock started ticking on the process from the minute that we hired the firm. And that's not exactly correct because part of what you hire us for is the preparation work. And so while we're prepared, while you're waiting for documents to come back with the apostille, while we're reviewing documents, making sure everything is worded properly and done properly, some time goes by. When finally the file is ready, now the entire thing is submitted, properly translated to the consulate, and that's when the process initially, officially starts. Now, that being said, consulates, which normally take 15 to 21 business days to process a visa, are taking 2 and 3 months. And part of the reason is that the consulates have mentioned to us that, they're working with skeleton crews. So one of the consulates went from having a fully staffed visa department in the consulate to having 2 people. So you can just imagine, okay? So that's taken time. Once you are issued the visa and you come to the country for the immigration process, here again, it's also taking additional time, especially, especially when depending on the kind of residency that you are applying for. So, folks, you have to clothe yourself with patience, until this pandemic is under control or eradicated. These are changes that we have to live with. Now, on the upside, and that's something I'll be talking about next, is that, there are countries that are going back into the full swing of things, like the Dominican Republic is going back to normal life. Institutions are working with, fully staffed, normal business hours, and this is going to help in the way of taking care or completing processes in a shorter time span. That's going to help to make things quicker. So we can go back to some type of normal time frame when it comes to these immigration processes. But there are countries, like the US and Canada that still are, pretty much shut down and working with limited staff and limited schedules. So we have to be patient. But the important thing is that once you take that step, however long it takes, you're doing it. There's progress, it's happening, okay? So hopefully, soon enough, everybody will go back to normal life. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, if there's any, concerns that you may have or you need anything to be cleared up, doors always open. Contact us via WhatsApp, email, or phone.